Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. First things first, you already know, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Thursday. Hopefully everybody was smoothly able to get through the workday. Hopefully everybody was able to have a blessed one overall. Been a very, very long week, y'all. But we here. Hopefully your kids was able to get through the school day. Uh, I know for some, school might be out for a day or two. So, you know, make sure you got them wrapped up in something constructive. Geraldine, baby. Hope all well with you, sis. Yeah, I know. I know. I know you ain't see me since Sunday. I know. It's been a long, busy week, but nonetheless, I had to come back and bring something to the people. Those celebrating birthdays again. Hopefully, you keeping yourself safe. Stay blessed as always. Another year, another blessing around the sun, definitely. And just enjoy every moment of your day. Didi, baby. Appreciate everybody that did tune in Sunday for the conversation. Definitely was a great one. It hit on some little key factors that needed to be talked about, and tonight ain't nothing different. Might be a little politics involved only because I don't know if some of y'all are aware, but yeah. Oh, no doubt, sis. Looney, what's going on, my guy? I ain't even peep you in here. What's going on? Oh, shoot. Happy early birthday, sis. Another year, another blessing. Definitely hope you enjoy yourself. Whether you got plans, the family, or whatever, hey, do it up for the big 6-1. You already. But yeah, appreciate everybody that tuned in Sunday for the convo. Like I said, I'm going to definitely delve deeper into that. Y'all know how I do things. I like to slowly dissect things bit by bit, because like I said, at some point, we definitely got to get back to some form of critical thinking, especially now with what's going on. So, well, for those that missed it, y'all catch the replay definitely. Oh yeah, I forgot before I go left. Before I go left. I already know. Before I go left. Just want to say this real quick. For some that aren't aware, I think we all in the government shutdown. I could be lost in the sauce, but all in all though, I know for a lot of federal workers, it's going to be a little hassle because you ain't getting paid basically, and you know how most people feel. Ain't nobody trying to go to work for free. So hopefully y'all got something else in order and in plan. Because again, it could get a little critical. So just make sure you got everything tied up as far as your loose ends. Make sure everything is copacetic. Shoot. You already know, my guy. Appreciate you. That's what I'm saying. It's critical for some of y'all to really like start making certain investments, even down to the bank accounts, because you never know what's going to happen in the next few years. And so what it's looking like right now for some people, it ain't looking like anything promising. You know, and I feel that's the worst thing, especially for the federal workers when it's a shutdown, because that could also lead to they ain't gonna come to work, which means a lot of things you got to get done, especially by the federal. Uh, it ain't gonna get done no time soon. So they come up to a conclusion about apparently healthcare. I kind of spoke about that the other day. Um, like I said, the things that we really need to be in tune with, especially things that could affect the people overall in general, we ain't coming together for that. But we come together for some peanut butter and jelly BS though. Like I said, I feel like when it comes down to the healthcare, like I said, everybody should be able to have healthcare at any cost, small or big, don't matter. But it's a grim reminder to some people. Again, like, yeah, when things hit this turn, you better start preparing because it's definitely needed. But that's what I'm saying. It's time to get certain things in order because there's a lot of things that are getting cut as far as benefits is concerned. Hey, in some instances, I'm not feeling bad about it. Hence why I said that is because it goes back to what I said a while back. You got able-bodied people who are able to do anything except work. And when you got people like that, they make the system how it is now to a degree. Like some people will cry about there's no opportunities. No, there's opportunities. It's just a lot of y'all ain't trying to really seek them because you don't want to put in the work. You don't want to put in the time and the effort. But how do you expect to attain certain things when you're not willing to work for it? You heard a person complain about, prime example, crying about food stamps. Now, when it comes down to this new law, you know, a lot of y'all are gonna have to work. Serious, baby. A lot of y'all are gonna have to work regardless. So the whole notion of you think you're just gonna sit on your butt for free and continue to soak whatever benefits and resources is left, it ain't gonna happen no more. At least not now. So I don't see how you could cry about working less than 30 hours to keep your benefits. If that's what it is, you're trying to keep your benefits for your kids. But also remember that from what they're saying, if your kids is 7 and older, you ain't getting no stamps for them. So how that's gonna fare well for a lot of y'all. Yo, bro, hold on one second. Yo, bro, you could have just asked for the key. Yo, you could have asked for the key, bro. You just let anybody work. My bad, y'all. My bad. Folios, man. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that later too. Shoot. Yeah, my thoughts be changing sometimes. But back to the lesson at hand, though. The thing is, like I said before, there's a lot of y'all who are able-bodied and can work, but you refuse to work. Then when you do get something, it's like you want to get mad because they're gonna try to give you hours. Ain't that the point? Like prime example for some of y'all that have to keep your benefits, right? Yeah, you're gonna have to work. You have to do something. Ain't no more just laying up. And you know why I feel some of it is messed up for a lot of y'all is because again, uh, let's be real. Y'all going on these social media platforms and then exposing to the world how you live, how you do things. And I'm speaking to those people that need to hear this because, shoot, there's a reason why they're ready to do certain things now. It's because again, there are people that are coming on these platforms and they either trying to tell you how to scheme and scam, or they telling you how they getting over. And my thing is, if you could run to a platform, you could also run to a job. I'm sorry. And then there's some of y'all who are losing your jobs because posting up cammed up on camera. Spoke about this a while back. But Files, what's going on? What's going on? For those that just tuned in, make sure you hit that like button. But yeah, it's funny style, because again, a lot of y'all have sat here and ran your mouths for God knows how long. You don't think that these people are watching a lot of these platforms again? A lot of these platforms are federal, so shoot. You think they ain't watching something? Like, let's be real. It's one thing when you come on here and you're expressing certain things that you need to express, cool. But when you are trying to teach people how to scam, how to get over, and how to continue to get over, that becomes a problem. Because again, you don't know who exactly is watching you, who's following you. And for some of them, they might take that advice. And then what's going to happen then again? You're putting yourself in a dangerous position. Now, just had one video I seen where this girl was crying her eyes out. Basically, man, you got to pay back $35,000. How does that happen? you know, but this is my thing. You can't sit here and try to say, "Oh, I was only joking and playing around," because they will look right into that. It's no joking and playing around when you're telling somebody this is how you got to get over. Lie and say that you homeless to get some emergency stamps. Shit, nobody lie about being homeless at all, and I'm gonna be truthful about that. Yo, what's going on, baby? Well, it's popped the bean. My bad, y'all. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working hard on these damn skateboard kids, baby. But this is what I'm saying, though. When you could come on here and tell somebody how to lie and scam just to get over, and this is exactly why they start looking at things. Again, you got to pay back $35,000, and you just lost your benefits. Now you want to cry. But also remember this for some of y'all. If you are getting paid, monetized on these different platforms, that still does count as an income. So yeah, they're gonna be on it. And some guys just televise your thoughts, or when you televising certain things that you know for a fact is gonna have serious repercussions to it, you line yourself up for that. That's all I'm saying. A lot of y'all messing yourselves up now. Like I said, you probably wish to God now you ain't lying to tell somebody this is how you got to do it just to get it. Again, let me make this clear for people who might use this internet or use this social media even way down in the future. Anything that you bring out, right? Anything that you bring out to the forefront, especially if it's a lie and a scam and you broadcasting it, don't think they ain't paying attention. You know, because again, you don't know who's watching, you don't know who's taking notes on certain shit. And when it's all said and done, you setting yourself up and whoever else up for the kill. So you putting yourself in a dangerous position. My thing, all in all, is that the benefits are technically supposed to go to those who actually need it. But when you got able-bodied people who ain't trying to put in the work, the time, or the effort, this is why certain things are going to, continue to keep happening. And like I said, they are shutting down a lot of different programs, right? Some for good reason. Others, it's because of all the situations that have been occurring. That's just my view and opinion on it, obviously, because again, gotta be careful. Because again, in the long run, you're gonna be the one left holding the ball. Now, again, for some situations, I do feel bad because basically the ones that need it are gonna have to go through the hoops and hurdles again to get what they need. And for everybody else, since this thing done changed up, it's gonna get crucial for y'all. So if y'all got kids 7 and over, y'all better get to trying to find something job wise. You ain't gonna get the benefits only before the little ones. I don't feel bad for those who end up paying the consequences for their actions. Anytime you could try to come on here and force people to lie, again, just to get some form of government help and assistance when you know you don't really need it, mm-mm, the wrong thing to do. Because again, you don't know who you're influencing. Oh, all I gotta do is do this and lie. At certain points, when it comes to certain federal funds and benefits, oh, they pay attention because they ain't playing with their money. And that's the thing that nobody seem to get. They are not playing when it comes to any federal money. So why do some of y'all keep trying to crawl your way to some sort of little come up? It really is time for some of y'all to get in tune, man. You able to work, you able to walk, you able to breathe. Get yourself out there and apply yourself to something. See, and I'm speak about this too because there's another problem that I see. Some of y'all just taking these jobs because you feel the money is there and it's adequate, instead of saying, nah, let me find something that I really could vibe with, something that I'm good with, and let me stick with that. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. My bad, Miss Chicago, baby. My bad, y'all. Take care of some work related business. But yeah, again, some of y'all gotta realize, in the long run, if you able to work, if you able to take the time in to improve anything that you trying to improve, make sure you're doing so. But again, when it comes down to all that trying to get a quick come up, all of that trying to scheme and scam away, I gotta find something better to do. Find something more constructive. Because in the long run, at some point, trust me, It's gonna get rough for you. Do you really want to be a person that got to pay back some money to the government just because? Let's keep it real. Any wise person knows you ain't doing that. Some of y'all should have learned from them PPP loans and shit like that. Sorry to say it, that's true. Y'all should have learned from that. Anything federal, you know for a fact, you either gonna have to 9 out of 10 pay that back, or you better make sure you got a receipt on what you use that money for. Now again, for those who really do need it, they shouldn't have to be the ones going through the madness. They shouldn't have to be the ones suffering just because. That's where like I said, it's crazy how some of y'all could be getting benefits. You're getting an income because you getting paid on these platforms, and you think at some point that shit ain't gonna catch up to you. It's gonna catch up to you whether you believe it or not. Like I said, there's a lot of programs that there's too much abuse going on. And now that things are changing, a lot of y'all crying. But a lot of y'all had time to get certain things in order if this is what your plan was, to try to be a little bit better. Should just did it legit. You know, think that's a problem now. Again, you're not looking at the overall situation at end. Things are gonna start changing. You know, like I said, some for the good, some are definitely gonna be for the bad. And for the ugly part of it, it's sad because the main ones that really need it are gonna be the ones suffering. Because there's a lot of y'all who refuse to again just apply yourself to something that you're good at. Find your niche. Today is more like a motivation speech right now. I do want to motivate people again. Try to elevate yourself. You know, you can't expect change when you're not willing to invest in yourself. You want change for the better. Um, Again, it's time for y'all to start thinking better and moving better. Some of y'all don't even know that y'all have a lot to offer. Again, just find it what it is. Who that juice, baby? Did you just call me trouble? Just call me trouble. I'm gonna let that slide, Cap. I'm gonna let that slide. Nah, it's good seeing you, sis. You already know what it is. But yeah, it's just again, some of y'all think it's a game. Keep on trying to scam and not trying to apply yourself in life. You gonna find out you ain't gonna get nothing that you think you're gonna get. You're gonna get something for the time being, but it ain't gonna be for the long haul. And that's what you should be thinking about. Thinking about the long haul. Like again, the whole purpose of even getting benefits is because you down and out. But once you ain't down and out no more, or once you are to a certain status, you shouldn't need it no more. It's just like some people will continue to keep using and abusing. Then again, you setting up the people who really need it, and that's sad. Today should be a motivation speech for a lot of y'all. You want to come up, start bringing yourself up, uplifting your spirit, man. Stop settling for less. Start believing in yourself more, for real. Because again, nobody's gonna hold your hand in life. Maybe when you a baby, but once you get to a certain age, ain't no more holding your hand. You're gonna have to start figuring things out. Some of y'all just refusing to put yourself in a good position because, again, you scared about what other people may think. Should it matter that you work a regular 9 to 5? Should it matter that you doing something for yourself? No, shit. EPB, what's going on? What's going on? I see y'all in here. But you know, this is real life right now. Because again, how long you think you gonna be able to scam and scheme before it backfires on you? Especially when it's playing with federal money at any cost. Oh nah, it's gonna come back to y'all. And see, you better learn a lesson from some of those people who are either going through it now or went through it at some point. Gotta be careful for real. But why does it seem hard for some of y'all to just accept who you are as a person, accept who you are overall, and apply yourself? I'm gonna say for some of y'all again, don't get into these field of operations if it's something that you really can't deal with, or you're gonna be quick to have a temper tantrum or just not like at all. Prime example again, if you know you're not trying to deal with any form of customer service, I don't think that's a job you should take then. Find something that you feel like you could definitely resonate with, something that you know you're good at, and apply pressure. That's it. There's a reason why there's certain things happening or why there's certain scenarios where either the customer service is trash or there's a lot of people that are losing their jobs. I watched a video where this older lady was just correcting this younger lady on something, and the attitude was just out of pocket. Again, even towards somebody that you know is older than you, probably old enough to be your mother. I'm going to say this tonight. There are some of y'all who need to start again while you got the chance to do so. Teach your children manners and respect when it comes down to dealing with anybody, especially if they are dealing again in any form of customer service, whether they working behind a cash register or whatever. Because in the long run, remember this old saying, customer is always right regardless. Without the customers or without the people in particular who are, they are definitely an impact. Yeah, you're gonna mess that up. You're gonna either get yourself fired or get sent to another brand. Another, who wants to go through all of that? You getting mad because the lady asked you to double bag a specific item or specific items, which technically, by common sense logic, by anybody that's ever bagged up any form of groceries, you're always supposed to double bag up, especially when you know you got heavy objects like glass or bottles, whatever. But how do you get upset and try to say that she's arguing with you? And no, she was just correcting you on something. See, the problem now is that some of these young ones think they can't take correction. They think when you're trying to correct them on something that you disrespecting them or you trying to play them. Or, everybody's favorite word now, you hating on me. Why you hating for? Ain't nobody hating. Ain't nobody mad at you. Ain't nobody screaming or yelling. See, that woman was being professional even while she was getting treated unprofessional. Sad about that. Again, some of y'all youth, y'all gotta do better. And this should be a message that's shared out all around, period. Because see, some of them are crying and moping now about, there's no there's no opportunity, there's no opportunities. Well, let's try this again. There are opportunities, but y'all messing it up because of your own behavior. Messing it up because you're being unprofessional. Gotta remember that. Again, when it comes down to any form of whatever customer service, customers is always right. Without the customers, your companies don't get paid. If they don't get paid, you don't get paid. Simple as that. But again, you know, if that's your first type of job experience and you feel that's something that you don't want to do, cool. But also make sure before you decide to up and quit, make sure you got a backup plan. Make sure you do find something that you really have a passion for, something that you can make work for yourself, and that's it. Because trust me, in the long run, with the way certain things is moving, you won't wish you didn't quit on what you was doing. See again, prime example. If you really are into computers, technology, why not get into the field of that? In some scenarios, they are still offering programs that are trying to get people into that engineering field or get into the internet tech, you know, trying to get you into those fields of play if that's what you really want to do. But remember, you got to apply yourself. One thing to remember is, again, don't sell yourself short. Don't ever doubt yourself for 1 second. You know, keep everything intact and in motion. Yeah, you're going to have a little struggle at first, but once you start getting into a certain position, things is going to start being a little more familiar, a little more comfortable. Then from there, you're going to accelerate. And that's the thing. Key of everything is just accelerating yourself, no matter what. Gotta add more to your life. So today should be more of a positive motivation speech for y'all. Because again, in the long run, how do you expect anything to change if you're not willing to get up and make the changes for yourself? For some of y'all, you're already dead. What's holding you back is certain scenarios and situations. Which again, nothing should ever hold you back from trying to reach your true potential in life. And I mean absolutely nothing. You know, you are the author of your own book. So when it's all said and done, hey, what are you going to write in there? You want to make sure every chapter of your book has some great moments, just like it's going to have bad moments, tragic moments, but also inspirational moments. Everybody's going to go through some form of trials and tribulations, even while trying to come up. Again, when it's all said and done, it's up to you. It's up to you to write this. Write this magnificent chapter in your life. I believe that some of y'all, especially some of you younger ones in your early 20s, when some of y'all, you're not really aware or sure of what you're trying to get into. But I would say again, find something that you know for a fact you have a skill in. Find something that you know is going to keep you motivated and keep keep you driven. And when you're ready to elevate even more, hey, you'll be able to do so. Because again, like I said, with that situation I was just speaking about, it don't make sense. It don't make sense that here it is, somebody is just correcting you on something. They ain't screaming and yelling at you, and at the same token, you giving them attitude, sucking your teeth, rolling your eyes, and then acting like you're ready to fight. Let me explain something to some of y'all young ones. Not everybody is ready to fight, and not everybody is trying to fight. When somebody is correcting you, it don't matter what age. If they correcting you on something that's going to help you, take your time to listen. Because again, there's a lot of y'all that could end up losing your positions just by the simpleness. Again, who wants to go through all of that? Again, if you're trying to elevate yourself, if you're trying to make changes, if you're trying to get yourself in a perfect position, especially for your future generations, again, you're gonna have to make compromises. But you're also gonna have to learn some self-discipline and again, respect. Some of y'all need to, know, learn to also have some willpower. Kid you not. You need willpower as a part of your regiment, at least for that growth. Because guess what? You know, it takes a lot to deal with a lot. But if you're doing something that again you're passionate about and you know you're willing to do what's necessary to do it, don't just hop on or leech on to something just because you think it's some great money right then and there. And I would say that for anybody of any age. Don't just jump on something because you see certain ones done profited some way, somehow. Because that's not always going to be the case when it comes down to y'all. What works for some people ain't going to work for everybody. What you verbalize will eventually materialize. You have to part of the talk aspects of your reality. Exactly. And some things you want to be careful about wishing into existence. Because when it does happen, what you going to say there? That'd be like you doubting yourself. That would be like you doubting yourself that you'll get a promotion wherever you working at. If you got that lackluster attitude, yeah, you ain't gonna get nothing right away. But if you got that mindset and that goal to say, you know what, it's gonna happen, and I gotta be the one to make it happen. Hey, do what you gotta do. Like I said, sometimes you're gonna get flustered in life because it's some things you know, you want to be successful, but again, it's a time frame to certain things. Just remember that part. You know, it really is. It's a time frame for everything. Not everything's gonna move speedy fast, and not everything is gonna always go according to plan. But for the things that do, be thankful for it. Like prime example, if you're running a business might be slow for that first month, but time, patience, and consistent movement, regardless to what. The following month, hey, everything might be a booming success. But you can't quit and you can't get upset the minute things don't go your way right then and there. Like I said, there's levels to growth, but you also got to have a level of reasonable expectations. You know, don't expect certain things to jump off right then and there because you still might have a process to deal with. Some people don't have the emotional intelligence to, yeah, that is a fact, serious. Because again, that's really essentially what it's all about. You know, you have to be willing to say, I'm going to make change needed and necessary for my life so I can have a better life. That's what y'all all cry about. I'm going to manage to do what I got to do, and I ain't got to harm my community nor teach all the wrong values on how to maintain and sustain something. You know, like I said, there's some of y'all now coming on these different platforms and you're basically giving a tutorial on how to get over. When the point is, you shouldn't always have to get over in life. Yeah, you go through the hurdles, you're gonna have to. And if you wanna hop anything, yeah, hop the hurdles of destruction. How about that one? Because regardless of how you may feel about it, you technically are destroying again certain things that you know people are gonna need. They're gonna get tired of a lot of you coming on these platforms and talking about how much you getting, what you doing, and how you doing things. When most of that is on federal watch and federal money, don't get tired of y'all. Sorry to say it that way. They don't get tired of a lot of you people who got Section A and knowing damn well you don't need it. They just gonna get tired of a lot of y'all who have been scamming at some points and continuously keeping that tradition going. Like I said, the assistance should really go to those who need it. Love, baby, baby. And yeah, for some of y'all could change your scenarios. You could change basically anything you feel like is needed to be changed in your life, especially if it's going to be for the better. For some of y'all, instead of y'all worrying about trying to get fly and spending unnecessary money on things that you know ain't really needed at that time frame, start saving, start investing, start buying the things that are needed. The things that you want, hey, do that after you took care of the most important things. Yeah, think about it. Why you think some people when they get into a certain position, the first thing they think about is buying a house? No, it's important. Why you think they worry about buying at least a house, some form of vehicle? Because those are the most important things. You need a roof over your head, and you also need to get from point A to point B. Or some people will do a little bit of what they can do. Let me get this house. Let me get these mortgages or get whatever in order. Let me make sure that even if I pass this down, hey, family, whoever is going to be able to keep it. You know what I'm saying? It's things that some people just got to really put into perspective for real. You can change your own destiny in certain instances because again, you can make it happen. If you don't want to be stuck on a standstill, figure out what works for you. Again, figure out what's going to be the best and most conducive to your life, and then keep it moving. Sometimes for some of you, you need change of scenery. There's nothing wrong with that. Change the scenery will open your mind to bigger and brighter ideas. You might not think so, but it does. I can say prime example. The reason why I try to do as much is because much was done with me from when I was a young one. That's how I knew, you know, how to do my research on certain things. I knew how to just read the way I was supposed to be reading and make sure I didn't misread it. Because you never know. You might have to come back to that at some point, and you want to make sure that you got sharp knowledge on it. That's just like prime example. I didn't just do the art shows. I be at the museums and the exhibits as well too. Marlene, baby. It's really about to get a little hairy with the shutdown in place. Yeah, I mean, and that's the truth, serious. Like that, people fail to realize that, you know, in some instances, is definitely about to be shaky. That's why I said I feel bad for those workers who are working hard, trying to just, do what's necessary. And now that the shutdown is really in place, depending on how long they shut it down for, like I said, they ain't gonna be getting what they should be getting, which is nothing. Sad part about it. But yeah, I would say in some instances for some of y'all right now, you better do everything in your power to keep whatever positions you got. Because trust me, in some instances, you won't be sitting there for a minute waiting for something to happen. Like I said, make sure all your business affairs is in order. You know, it's important to do so. But yeah, you have the power. You really have the power to make things happen. Like I said, for some of you that need to hear this, there's a reason why a lot of y'all are going through what you're going through now. Because again, you decide to come on in and boast and brag about certain things that you know for a fact is going to have consequences. So I said it's important. If you able body, get your able body ass up and go out there and go apply yourself for something. If you know you want to get into something deeper, you might have to go through these programs to do so, then do so. Again, you should find something that works for you, not works against you. You should find something that brings you joy and peace. But again, if you don't want to deal with it, don't get into that field. Find something, shop around until you find something you can get with. Like prime example, if you love working with, you know, you love working with cars, love working with vehicles, get into that field of play. They have programs for that if that's what you really want to do. Get into automotive repairs. Like for some of y'all, you interested in trades, get into trades. Whatever trade school you feel like is going to work for you, that's going to keep you working, keep you inspired, or even elevate you to a higher level, keep doing that. For some of y'all that claim y'all love to be in the medical field, if you really love dealing with people and helping out the best way you can, especially with human life and preservation of human life, get into that. See, again, there's a lot of y'all who refuse to get into the positions you should be really in because you worry about what others think. You worry about other people's opinions and views. And again, they can't live your life. They can't walk in your shoes. It's only you that can do that. What's so hard about saying, if I know I could get up, I could work? Why I don't want to get up and work? Why should my mindset be lazy? Watch my mindset say, "Oh, I'll do this and I'll get a few dollars." Ah, who want to live like that? Sad enough, there are some of you who don't care. You will live your life humming and bumming or trying to get over instead of saying, "Let me get up and go do something that inspires me to keep doing something greater." Some of you are wasting your lives away for nothing. If you can't change the situation, your perception of it, that's why your personal power is either being controlled or be in control. No, it's a fact. That's a whole fact, serious. And that's what I'm saying. It's just, come on now. And that's the thing. You can't focus on what everybody thinks. You can't because you're gonna continuously knock yourself back. If you know this something that you like to do, if you know this something that you know you're gonna prosper in, and that's something that you really are interested in, who gives a damn? You shouldn't give a damn about what nobody thinks. Your thoughts are more important than anything because again, nobody can live your life. Nobody can get you over the hurdles. Yeah, they can support you when you're getting through certain hurdles, but they ain't gonna be able to say, "All right, I got you, I got you, I got you." No, you gotta have yourself. You know. Again, find what makes you happy. Find what's gonna bring you not just comfortability, but great mind space to say, "Yeah, I can see myself elevating from this to the next level, or from here into something else. I could further venture out and find something that I know for a fact is going to work. I might be able to find two occupations that work for me. And that's even a greater step right there. Time is money and money is time. That is the truth. You know, in order for you to get that money, you got to put that time in. And you got to put that time in if you want that money or if you feel that you're worth that money. These are things people fail to realize. Just like money comes and goes. You got to remember that part too. But your money shouldn't be coming and going just that nonsense. It should be coming and going because you're taking care of what's need to be taken care of. Later for trying to follow behind every trend and later for trying to, you know, later for all of that. You better focus on trying to get your families in order, get your living situations in order, just in case if things start flying south. It took me a while to realize that I can't make others happy. Each adult has their own piece in it. Nah, it's a fact, Marlene. You know, that's the thing. There has to be a balance regardless. You know, you got to balance yourself out because again, you know, you essentially make your decision in life and what you want to do. And if you want the best for yourself, you are going to have to get out there and apply yourself to the fullest extent. Problem is, they are so consumed with trying to keep up with the Joneses and not exactly. You know, y'all both made some great points right there. That's what I'm saying. It's just things you got to worry about. Worrying about other people's views and opinions, that shouldn't be one of them. The only view and opinion that really should matter for anything is yours. Because if you're happy with what you're doing, and if that's something that you're going to keep doing, then hey, who's to say anything? Who's to stop you from doing what you need to do? But again, I would say for some of y'all, even that getting into the job hunt, whether it's for yourself, or whether it's for somebody else, it don't matter at this point. You still got to start somewhere. You know, you have to start somewhere. And for some people, yes, you're going to be your own bosses. Because some of y'all have that driven passion to do so. And again, I'm not knocking that. If you feel like you want to be one of those who are going to work for yourself, be your own boss, cool. But just remember, don't knock down or try to knock down people who are rising up, including your own employees. Because there's some of y'all out there right now doing that. You want to have this mentality to say, oh, well, everybody should be a boss. But in the same token, if everybody's a boss, who the hell going to be working for them? You're not going to be able to do everything on your own. That's why I said it does take a team. Like even when it comes down to friendships, it's a team effort when it comes down to what's being done. And if all of y'all seem to have that mindset of I want to succeed at any cost without having to sacrifice your integrity or morals for it, hey, do what you do. Everybody should be inclined to walk their own road in life. True. But do you want to walk down a dark road where there's uncertainty, or you want to ride down the road where you can see everything, even make some pit stops? You know, like come on there. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all will get crazy, and what you getting, giving it right back to them. If you want to be technical, because you buying all the things that you know for a fact it ain't gonna amount to nothing. You rather buy chains and buy a car than buy up some property. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, things that should really matter, it seems like it don't matter. And that is a prime problem right there. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Nah, that's a whole fact. Yeah, my fault. That's a whole fact right there. You know, nobody's bigger than the program. The program of life is trying to live your best life, but also have the things that you need and trying to attain the things that you need. Not so much as what you want. Again, it's the things that you're gonna need. Like how you gonna be able to pay your rent if you ain't doing something? How you gonna be able to pay your mortgage if you ain't doing nothing? How you gonna be able to attain certain things that you know you're gonna need for life? And again, if you ain't doing nothing with yourself. Jewel, baby. Sad part about it is some people will never be mentally mature. And to some instances, no fault, but to their own. Because at some point, you should be able to think for yourself. You should be able to say, well, if I know I'm trying to do this, I got to figure out how I'm going to be able to get the things that I need, you know? And if I need money to make certain things happen, I got to get out there and do something. But I also got to be able to say, I'm going to get out there and do something that ain't going to get me wrapped up, especially by the federal government. You shouldn't have to take penitentiary chances to try to make something happen. That's something that a lot of y'all need to think about. Because in some instances, some of these things you trying to take advantage of, you're gonna come with a consequence. And if it ain't, you're gonna be paying a hefty fine. You're gonna be paying a hefty fine and doing some jail time. Who wanna go through all of that? When you know you able to do certain things, yes, you splurge when you know you can splurge. But for the most part, take care of the bare necessities. Take care of the things you know you need to take care of. Make sure you keeping a roof over your head so you don't have to be a part of that homeless pandemic that's going on. That's one thing to remember, especially for some of y'all that got kids. You don't want to be passed out and on the streets with you and your kids. So you better figure out how to make certain things happen. Period. That's all it is. Laying up on your ass and just scheming and scamming away. It's about to be harder now. It's about to be harder for a lot of y'all to just sit on your asses all day. So you gonna have to get out and do something. And if you don't, guess what? You'll find out. You're gonna find out the hard way. And that's gonna be the saddest part about it. That's why I said there's certain programs that shouldn't be abused because again, you have people who are really struggling and need those benefits. But here it is, you got people who are able to get out here and be on social media all day. You could be out here partying and doing everything with your peeps, but you can't apply yourself to do something. Make that make sense. That's all I'm saying. You know, seem like when it comes to certain scenarios and situations, y'all don't got y'all priorities straight. And that's why I said it's time to start getting back to critical thinking. Some of y'all breaking your neck just to gain a lot of materialistic things, but guess what? It's only gonna come and go. Materials come and go. Just remember that part too. Materialistic things, they come and go. And again, you could try to attain everything you want to attain, but when it's time for you to close your eyes for good, come on now. You can't take that stuff with you. Just remember that part. You can't take that stuff with you. Might sound good all the time that, yeah, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get this. Okay. But then for what? When you could have took care of this and took care of that and know that you and your future generations will be straight. So I'm saying these are things you need to think about. It's truly pathetic. You're just walking around making demands. Exactly. That's the thing though. I understand in some instances not everybody going to be a leader. Some people just don't have leader qualities. But you should be able to lead your own life, which means you should lead yourself into something that's going to be beneficial for you. Later for trying to, later for trying to be the big boss man, basically. Because in all actuality, again, you know, you're going to have to take care of the things that are needed in order for you to stay in a comfortable spot where you at. But again, if you ain't willing to apply yourself and do something that you know is needed for your survival and for your well-being, and hey, with the way the world is changing right now, you gonna wish to God you did something. That's just being real right there. You gonna wish you did something greater. The opportunities that you may have now, you better grasp onto, especially if these are opportunities that you want to take. Again, don't take something or get into something just because you think the money is right. Get into it because it's something that you really want to do. and something that you have a passion for, and something that you won't have second thoughts about. Keith, what's going on, my guy? Y'all already know, if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Because again, with this shutdown right now, prime example, a lot of people about to suffer, especially the federal workers. But also remember, if you got any form of federal business that need to be taken care of, expect a little wait. In my overall honest opinion, it shouldn't have to be a shutdown just for people to come to terms with how they're going to deal with things, especially when it comes to healthcare. But see, these are the things, like I said before, that got to worry about. Instead of focusing on all the nonsense and the drama, worry about shit that's definitely going to be impactful on your life. And in some scenarios, with some of y'all, your benefits, and I mean everything, your 401ks, all of that could be at risk at some points. So you better start focusing on the long haul. Make sure you're able to at least keep certain things attained, especially during the changes. You know, see, and for some of y'all could be doing a little bit better. Here's why I said that. Because there's some of y'all who know y'all have a strong following. You have people who are willing to follow everything that you saying and doing. Y'all could be utilizing y'all platforms and teaching something great. For those who are doing what they're doing, continue to keep doing what you do. For those who are actually trying to help in the best ways possible and trying to shape and reshape the minds, hey, continue to keep growing, keep prospering, keep sending that good message out. It's needed. For the rest of y'all gonna have to start doing a little bit better. And I mean it. Instead of teaching people how to scheme and scam an already broken system and government, teach them how to maintain, teach them how to grow and invest, teach them how to invest in themselves. Bring some real structure. Bring something that they could utilize and then go from there. Because again, you don't know who's watching you and who's following you. But you could be encouraging or inspiring somebody, whether you believe it or not. Young or old, everybody needs some form of inspiration. For some of y'all, your inspiration is just making changes or making subtle changes for your life. And that should be your main focus. That should be your inspiration. Trying to figure out ways to change and trying to figure out ways to attain, maintain, and sustain. You're going to go through some hurt and pain trying to get there, but it'll be all worth it, especially if it's for something that you really want to do, something that you feel you need to do. Again, I would advise those who are trying to get into the medical field or who really want to make a difference in that medical field, I advise y'all people to get right into those positions. Angela, baby. Prime example for some of y'all who really want to get into any form of construction, any form of union work. There's programs out right now to get your OSHA and do whatever. Go do so. If that's what you really want to do. Again, don't get into these positions just because of the money that's being offered. Get into these positions because this is something that you really want to do. I wouldn't advise anybody to be a teacher if that's something that they don't want to do. Because it's going to take time and patience when it comes down to trying to teach. And we know this. So again, do the things that you enjoy and do the things that bring you peace. Do the things that you feel happy doing. Shit, if you feel happy flipping burgers, flip some damn burgers. If you feel happy and if you feel good being in that medical field, do so. Feel good in that construction field, do so. Feel good in engineering and computer technology, get into that. Stay in that. That's what I'm saying. And some of these things that you might be interested in, they're all still internship programs and everything that can help out with that. But again, that's if you are really ready to get into that. And if that's really your choice in life. And again, don't let nobody stop what you know is for you. Don't let nobody try to stop you from attaining your blessings in life. It's time to grab life by the horns and charge your way into something greater. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, again, you could get to greater places if you take the time to believe and motivate yourself. But also make sure you have a great support system. These folks are reckless with their money. They haven't learned anything from the C-19 struggle. Focus on looking good for the public and sweeping around it. Fact, serious. And that's what I'm saying. You know, some of y'all, you want to make a show about how you living, how you doing things. Shouldn't be about show. That show and tell mentality at some point puts y'all in dangerous position. You want to show and tell how people can obtain certain things without having to risk their lives or go to jail for it. Show and tell people how to make something honestly and legitly without the scams. Teach them that. Word, what's going on, my guy? Again, what's stopping you from elevating and getting to your next level in life? And I'm speaking to those who need to hear. What's stopping you? Only person that's stopping you is you. Because again, if you're focused on what everybody else is thinking and not focused on what you're thinking, you'll continue to keep going through the hurdles and the hassles in life that you shouldn't have to. At some point when you get into adulthood, yeah, some of your early 20s, you're going to waste it away because you're still young and dumb and you just trying to figure it out. But then there's some who, once they already figured out what they want, they going for it, especially if they don't have nothing holding them back. And for those who don't have children, for y'all younger generation, you ain't got no kids. Yeah, you free to do whatever it is you do, but also remember, gotta be careful. You know, because there's certain things that can set you back that you really don't need to set back. You know, they limit themselves. They are tailored to government assistance. That's a whole fact. It's sad to say, but some of those people, that's exactly what it is. Y'all done got trained with that mindset of I don't have to fully apply myself just to gain certain things in life. But at some point, you should want to do better for yourself. You should want to see yourself not having to rely on certain assistances, especially when you're still able bodied to do anything. Never understood that. I mean, why be able bodied knowing you could work? and you don't want to work. You would rather try to use and abuse the system that's already kind of already in shambles. Be real. How much more you think they're gonna tolerate? That's why they making a lot of y'all go through the shit now that you're going through. If some of y'all ain't getting your stamps, if some of y'all got your stamps cut off, public assistance cut off, it's for a reason. And for some of y'all, it's about that time. Because some of y'all, I'm sorry to say, have been using and abusing the fuck out this system. You want to sit back, have a whole bunch of kids, and then don't want to think, damn, at some point, how much assistance do I think I'm going to be able to get from these people before I have to get up and go get me a job? So for some of y'all who, again, not in the position of having to worry about taking care of a family, do what you do, but be safe in doing what you do. For those who already have done started some form of family, at some point, you won't want to get yourself right before you think about bringing more life into the world. If you could barely take care of you and the mouth that you do have, adding more to the situation is not going to make it better. And I'm just keeping it real. I've seen some people go through it recently. Don't know how you going to maintain and sustain when you got all these mouths to feed. And again, if you're not mentally or spiritually prepared for that type of scenario, don't put yourself in it. Again, focus on trying to change your aspects when it comes down to living. All the benefits and all these programs that have been used and abused, like I said, it's about to start changing. And at some point, it really is going to go to the people who actually need it. But it's sad some of them probably might have to go through hardship just because they got to pay for people like y'all that could have, just changed up everything. Again, once you get yourself to a certain position when you know you don't need the benefits no more, that's when you're supposed to leave it alone. When you lie about trying to get all these extra benefits, when you continuously lying and scamming, they're going to find out. Because again, they are paying attention to everything that you're doing, whether you believe it or not. They are paying attention. If you got social media platforms, especially these platforms you getting paid on, they're watching it because they want to see how you maintaining or how you gaining certain things when you supposedly don't have an income. So just know what y'all thought was going to be easy ain't going to be easy no more. So time for some of y'all to really start pacing yourselves and getting yourselves in order. Kev, what's going on, my guy? It's been a minute. What's going on, Brad John? Don't you know no good, Rashidi? Don't you know no good? But again, gotta have these talks here and there because again, there's some people who refuse to just elevate. And you refuse to elevate because again, you are so worried about what others think. As long as you get to your destination, as long as you are able to obtain and sustain yourself, stop worrying about everybody else's views and opinions. Do what works for you. If it's some good advice being given or somebody's trying to correct you on something, there's nothing wrong with that. I would say for the younger generation right now, your goal at hand, hey, it is time for y'all to learn some things. Again, learn about self control, self respect, self dignity. Some of y'all don't want to lose your positions, especially if they are good positions. Don't put yourself in the hot seat by messing up. You know, learn how to deal with your attitudes and your tempers. Because for some of y'all, you think some people are again trying to hate or disrespect when they just giving you some great or some fair advice. And if these people are not angry, or if these people are not giving you that type of aggressive energy, you don't need to give that to them. It could be that same person you giving an aggressive energy to that at some point might come through and save you, or might come through in the clutch when you need it. You never know. So again, the same people you might meet coming up, might meet them coming on the way there. They don't adhere to that fact. Some of them are complacently and committed to scheming on what they can. Man, that's the sad part about it. Life shouldn't be about schemes and scams, and especially towards your own folks. You know, that's things that people don't be thinking about. You know, I'm gonna teach my people how to scheme and scam instead of teaching them how to maintain and how to grow from within. Makes no sense. But I'm trying to inspire those who need to hear this. And again, especially towards the younger generation. Find what works for you, find what you're happy doing, and get into those fields. You never know. You're not just making a difference in your own life, you're probably making a difference in the lives and the others around you. Keep yourself around people who are going to keep themselves positive. You know, that's a fact. Spiritual growth. You know, when things are not looking good, or when things are not moving the way you think it should move, that's when you take a step back and observe everything. And if what you observe is negative coming from certain cylinders, time for you to cut that off. Again, you got so-called friends or so-called support, and they doubting you every step of the way. Those are people you need to get away from. Because why would I want to be friends with somebody who doesn't believe in what I believe in, as far as my dreams is concerned, or as far as me elevating in life? I don't need that. I'd rather be around people who are going to keep trying to encourage me, especially if I notice it's something I'm great at. You know, that pity party shit, gotta go. And then some of y'all that need to hear this portion too, because there's some of y'all who are being treacherous or even being poisonous to your so-called friends and loved ones. Whatever's going on in your life, if you know you need some form of psychological help, you need some form of therapy, go get it done. Your traumatic experiences or anything along those lines or your negative aspects of life should not spew on to the people that you say you love or the people that you say you respect. That energy, again, is just, it's unbearable. And it can throw some people up, especially those who are trying to change. See, in all honesty, it's selfish behavior when you could be toxic towards people that you claim that you love and that you respect. That's the worst form of toxicity right there. If you're getting upset because some of your friends and family are elevating in life and you're still stuck in one spot, it's not their fault. It's something that you're not doing to change it. If you get yourselves up, apply yourselves, and change what's needed, you could get to a happy place. You could get to a peaceful place. And you can actually be a part of not missing out on certain things. I think it's important though, for real. Hold on 1 second, y'all. But that's truth though. You are responsible for your peace, your joy, your happiness in life. And in all actuality, when you grab life by the horns and again you charge into it the right way, you could be right where you need to be at. Your destination is never far. You're gonna be a bumpy road getting there to some degree. But again, if you maintain yourself, keep your head on a swivel, keep your spirits high, but also stay solid, stay humble. A lot of things that you are trying to attain will be right in reach. And again, time is money. Money is time. It takes time to make money. But in order to make money, you got to put in the time. Never going to just come right then and there. Some things are not going to happen overnight. Just remember that part. You are responsible for your own blessings in life. Nobody else. You. And if you want the best for yourself, if you want to get out of that rut, and again, speaking to those who need to hear it, you want to stop seeming or sounding like a hater, get yourself out and go apply yourself to something. Don't bring your negative, toxic energy to those around you, especially those who are on a positive note. Whatever you're going through in life, you're going to have to eventually let it go. And again, obtain the help that you need. Real friends, real family, they're going to watch you grow. They're going to want to see you succeed. And their actions will prove that. So just remember that part too. Facts. Gotta let it go. Let things flow. It's important. The more you hold on to it, if it's not something that's giving you motivation and spirit to keep moving forward, that negative is just sitting there and just adding on. I've left some negative things in my life only because guess what? They gave me fuel and motivation, and still to this day, to make certain things happen. So if you can use it as a motivational tool, do so. But if you know it's something that's going to continuously keep adding more to your life that you don't need, let it go. The link is pinned in case anybody want to chime in. I could be back tomorrow, definitely though. Uh, I might do an early afternoon. We'll see. But if not, do something early evening. And again, the link could be pinned. Um, I want to ask a question for a lot of y'all men and women out there though. What exactly are y'all seeking? Because that's going to be the question for tomorrow. What exactly are you seeking for your life? What are you seeking as far as trying to find a life partner, things of that nature? It's going to be interesting only because, again, you know, getting different views and opinions. Because not everybody going to want the same things from a partner. We know that for a fact. You got to ask those questions, though. And I think those are important questions to ask. We talk about this from time to time, but I think it's important for some of y'all again to know what it is that you're seeking and then go seek it. You know. But yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. I'm not gonna hold y'all all night. Today was just kind of a motivational speech for some of these people who need to hear it. It's time for some of you who are able bodied and willing to do things, to start doing things and changing your life for the better. There's a lot of you who could potentially change everything around you and surrounding you if, again, you apply yourself and put in the work and stop trying to scam or trying to take the easy way around things. Some things in life will never be easy, but you make do. That's the most important thing. Make and do what you got. And if you feel you want to get somewhere higher in life, if you feel where you at is not sustainable enough, then do something to change the course of your future. There's nothing wrong with that. You'll be doing yourself a solid, but you'll also be doing the people around you a solid. Motivate yourself for something more than just a quick come up. And for some of y'all quote unquote influencers or social media junkies that need to hear this, again, be careful with what you're presenting as far as your platforms are concerned. Again, you never know who's watching you and who could be following your every move. And again, if you want the best, teach these people how to be the best. Your message is important. The message should be more important than anything else. I don't make unrealistic expectations. I'm more conventional. Well, I'm more unconventional, believe it or not. Nah, it's a whole fact, serious. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely talk about that tomorrow. Um, Tonight was just more of a motivation for those who need to hear it. Stop just relying on the schemes and the scams to get through life. Apply yourself, work hard for it, and things will be attainable. And you'll be able to change your scenery, you'll be able to change your living situations, you'll be able to change whatever dynamics you need to change. Other than that, you know, hopefully everybody had a blessed Thursday evening. Oh yeah, and happy Friday to all you future babies. I still need my lottery numbers for tomorrow today. Yeah, yeah. And tomorrow I'll be back with the conversation and the link will be pinned. Hopefully somebody did get something out of this because again, times are changing now. And with everything going on in the world right now, guess what? It's time for some of y'all to stop living in a shell and start exploring different options. Get yourself in order, try to get your families in order, because we don't know what the hell we headed into. And for some of you, it ain't looking good. So gonna have to change up the playing field on things. But yeah, appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation. Appreciate everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. And yeah, we still got great conversations. Still gonna have some great topics to discuss, you know. And when the link is pinned, y'all already know what it is. Lottery numbers 2, 4, 6. I ain't messing with you, serious. For those celebrating birthdays this week and this upcoming weekend, it's still Libra season, so I know I got you. I got you. Real baby. What's going on, sis? What's going on? See you up in here getting it on this Dawn dance floor. Don't worry, don't encourage my madness, y'all. I appreciate you for listening in, Miss Chicago. Hold on, somebody in the chat cooking something. My nose, my nose, it ain't tripping. Which one of y'all cooking right now? I smell it on one of y'all. Which one of y'all cooking? Hold on, which one of y'all cooking? Let's see who gonna snitch on themselves today. Which one of y'all in here cooking? Which one of y'all shadow huggers is cooking too? I smell it. I smell a birthday barbecue somewhere, and I want some. Make sure my plate is extra hefty. We gonna need that. For those that are still tuned in, I'm gonna think about possibly bringing a specific date. I am gonna bring back open mic poetry, music, and comedy. Give or take, probably before Thanksgiving. So I'll definitely keep y'all informed, or at some point it'll be on the community wall. And y'all already know how I do it. I don't mind opening the platform and sharing with the people. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. And I was going to try something towards the end of the month, and I know it ain't going to be able to happen. So, I appreciate you, sis. Hope all well with you. Yes, yes. I did not forget about y'all. Wait a minute. Nara, baby. Seen y'all up in here. I'm good, Lara. Hope all well with you, sis. I appreciate y'all for tuning in for the conversation. But again, hopefully somebody did get something out of this. You know, for some of y'all, you come on these platforms, whether you getting paid or not, and you could be utilizing and doing a lot more than what you know. Some of y'all doing the bare minimum. You're just teaching people how to scam and get by day to day, instead of teaching them something that's going to be more beneficial and definitely going to be more impactful for their growth. Got to be able to just start doing a little better. You know, again, you got young ones, even older people following. What message are you sending to them? You know, like I said, teaching how to scheme and scam. At some point, the schemes and the scams they come to a halt. Teach them how to do something better. Teach them how to utilize not just their God-given talents, but teach them how to utilize these skills if they do have skills in these areas of play. This way, you can keep that motion going. At some point, like I said, got to raise the awareness more and just start doing a little bit better. That's all. But again, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. If anybody want to join in on the convo, you're more than welcome. But other than that, I don't plan on holding y'all all night. I have to be an adult. I have to be a responsible adult tonight. Yes, yes. For those that are just tuning in, y'all can definitely catch the replay. And make sure that y'all share this out and hit that like button. Like I said, when we have these conversations, we having these conversations because it's important to have. How can we change certain aspects of life when we're not willing to get out and make the necessary changes? But for some of y'all that say you ain't trying to be relying on assistance, it's time for you to assist yourself and apply yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you could change that aspect. Like I said, for right now, it's a lot of different opportunities to try to make something and try to be something better in life. Don't wait until it's too late or way out of reach. Invest in yourself, and then you can invest in the things in life that are needed. But yeah, definitely appreciate everybody that rocked out. Let me get myself up out of here. And again, I will be back tomorrow. Could be afternoon or it could be an early evening. So I'll keep y'all posted definitely. Y'all just look for that reminder. Man. Like I said, the link could be pinned in case anybody want to chime in. Hopefully somebody did get something out this message. And that's what we're going to continue to keep doing. Bringing these strong messages. But yeah, let me get myself up out of here. Before I do get up out of here, I felt petty enough to do this. So I'm going to do it again. Yeah, when y'all hear that music, just know somebody might be in trouble when y'all hear that music. I could be on drill time, but I'm not on drill time. I'm on happy time. So, here, hold on real quick. Hold on. and get my ass up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and they'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I have to do is give you real. And that's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real builds. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. I might see some of y'all run around these streets. I might see some of y'all run around these streets. And again, for those celebrating birthdays, make sure y'all keep yourselves safe, keep yourselves observant, vigilant. But again, enjoy every moment of life and continue to keep enjoying every moment of life. Another year, another blessing. Y'all stay safe, keep that third eye open. And to the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.